What's going on, Godzirra Nation? This is Arghgodzirra. We are back with more AFL tips and predictions. We're looking ahead to round 8. We'll have a look at the round that was round 7. And a lot of craziness is about to go down because it's been announced that rounds 9 through to 11 are going to be played consecutively over 20 days. A game of football every night for almost a month. Who'd have thought? It's absolutely insane. But without further ado, it's time to get into the video. As we always do, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a look at how I went personally with my tips. We'll have a look how you all went with your tips. And then we'll lock in our tips for the upcoming week of action. Having a look here, I tipped 6 correct tips. We tipped Collingwood correctly. We went with Essendon and GWS, and obviously the Bulldogs and Brisbane got up in those respective games. We tipped the Gold Coast. We tipped Richmond. We tipped Port Adelaide. And even though Port Adelaide won, I was actually rooting for Carlton to get up and win. So that's how much this season's gone kind of array. I didn't think I'd ever be trying to get on the board the Blues bandwagon and try to see them win a game, but they really deserve to win that. We backed Hawthorn and lost, and then we backed West Coast and St Kilda. However, there were people that did better than I last week, and somebody in particular tipped 8 out of 9 possible tips. Just a quick overview to make sure. Yes, he was the only one. So, Motherfuckers, for those of you who don't know, is my old man. And he managed to tip the most amount of correct tips this week. So, Dad, congratulations. On top of the leaderboard for last week's round of tipping. Moves up to 3rd place as well. But overall, there's only 3 games in it between, first and 4th. It's still up for grabs well and truly. There's only a game between 1st and 2nd. It is what it is. On top of the ladder, El Snako in 2nd, Motherfuckers in 3rd, I'm in 4th, Onesie Lover in 5th, Marcus in 6th, Doggone in 7th, Gannon in 8th, Some Cripple in 9th, and Taj River Taylor 123 in 10. And then respectively after that, Benjamin, Judalicious, Dylan, Alex Superstars, Kamal, Madge Tigers, Roxburgh, Dominic EZ, VN Calvino, Tigel Cat, Trider, Memazar, TLB, Oliver Laird, Zeta, Dexpack, Flynn Boyd, V Crimson HD, Corey 121, and Lucky Roa, who has actually jumped on board this week. Up to 30 people in the competition now. Thank you all so much, seriously. But now, round 8. This is where the action is at. Who are we going to be tipping? Kicks off tomorrow night at Metricon, Gold Coast, the Bulldogs. 50-50. The Bulldogs 2 weeks ago, I backed them, and they lost. Even though I said they could do Bulldogs things. Thankfully, they got up last week. This is actually going to be a battle to get into the... It is a battle to get into the top 8. So Gold Coast either stay in, or the Bulldogs move in on top of the Gold Coast. I'm going to back the Bulldogs even though they are going to be without Lockie Hunter, who I think is very underrated in their side. I think they're going to get it done by 15 points. Close game of football. I am incredibly surprised with how the Gold Coast have done this year. Friday night, we get the grand final replay. Giants taking on Richmond at Giants Stadium. Oh, is this the week I tip against Richmond? No, I can't. I've got to go with Richmond, and not because I'm a Richmond fan. I think last week it started to click with the Richmond brand of football, and I think if they replicate that, they can take it to GWS. I think even though GWS, they've got Toby Green in the team, and they've got, Caniglio has come in and everything else, compared to the team that they came out with last year. We're missing premiership players. It should all go the way of the Giants, but I've got to hold firm. I've got to stick with my boys. Saturday night at the Gabba, North Melbourne taking on Carlton, and I will be tipping Carlton this week. As I said, every time I back against Carlton, I feel bad for all the Carlton supporters that follow me on this channel. I'm getting on with the Blues this week. The Blue Bag is for another win. Let's do it. Saturday at the SCG, I'm backing Hawthorn. No Isaac Heaney, no Josh Kennedy, No Buddy Franklin, even though Franklin's been out for a while. Clarko's boys aren't going to go missing 2 weeks in a row. And I know there's a lot of questions being asked about their list and him as a coach and everything else. But Hawthorn, I think, will get it done Saturday against Sydney quite easily. Then we head to Adelaide Oval, where Port Adelaide are going to be taking on St Kilda. See, this is a game that could be a big upset. I'm going to back Port Adelaide, back Port Adelaide. But I think upset of the round would be St Kilda to defeat Port Adelaide. And I am telling you now, I am not ruling that possibility out, because St Kilda have been playing a good brand of footy. They weren't as clean as they could have possibly been the other night against Adelaide, but they could cause an upset here. And if they did defeat Port Adelaide, I would be happy to lose that tip, because I'd like to see Port Adelaide knocked down a peg. But Port Adelaide for me in that game. And then Sunday kicks off at Adelaide Oval with Adelaide taking on Essendon. And I'm backing Essendon, because I don't think Adelaide are going to come close to winning a game this year. There is so much going on at that club that needs to be worked out. Essendon this year have been vastly superior as a team. You can only back teams on a week-to-week basis, but given the form Essendon has had since coming back from that 2-month break, can't back against them against Adelaide. Optus Stadium, West Coast Collingwood. See, this could go 2 ways as well, because Collingwood could go up there and prove an upset. I am going to back the West Coast Eagles, however. This is a real 50-50 game as well. But I think Eagles last week, comfortably back at home, got into their groove against Fremantle. I think that momentum continues on. At Metricon, we've got Melbourne taking on Brisbane. I am putting Brisbane down as the winner. Max Gawn and Christian Petrarca have been absolutely phenomenal this year. But you can't knock the rise of the Brisbane Lions over the past 2 seasons. Especially this year, they're looking the goods. And then Monday night again, rounds out with Fremantle taking on Geelong at Optus Stadium. And I think Geelong are going to go up to Optus Stadium and wreak a little bit of havoc against Fremantle, especially if they've got Nat Fyfe out. They did a lot right last week against West Coast for about a half of football. And then after that, it just went downhill. I think Geelong will get a fast start. Fremantle are going to be playing catch-up, and that's going to be the tail of the tape. So having a look at my tips this week, Bulldogs, Richmond, Carlton, Hawthorn, Port Adelaide, Essendon, West Coast, Brisbane, and Geelong. Kind of ironic, because last week I'm pretty sure, if we have a look at the winners bracket, -1. Actually, we will do that right now, because I've still got it up here. We'll save those tips. No, it must have been the week before. I was going to say there was a round where majority of the home teams were all getting up. But regardless, let's just forget about that. Those are my tips for this week. Looking forward to finding out who you think is going to be this week's certainty and this week's upset. As I said, I'm going to lock in the Port Adelaide-St Kilda game as the upset of the round if St Kilda can get up. I think the certainty this week would be Essendon defeating Adelaide. That's too easy. But then also saying something like, you know what, I'm going to go Carlton beating North Melbourne as my certainty this week. I think that's the certainty I'm going to lock in. Well, I'm getting some good odds here on the sports bet. I might have to put some cheeky bets on, especially the fact that Richmond obviously going in against a heavy favourite in GWS. Anyway, that's it for this week. If you do want to get involved with the competition at all, you still can. Although bear in mind, when it comes to the prizes being handed out, only those that were eligible before round 5 are still going to be eligible. But hey, you can still jump in for the lols. Right here is the URL. It's in the description as well. I want to thank you all so much for supporting this season. Just hit that like button down below if you have been enjoying this as well, because that goes a long way to supporting myself, and I seriously thank you. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty of other content going down on the channel as well, so if you like gameplays or anything else I'm throwing down, go check it out. I'd appreciate that too. You can hit me up on social media. Those links are in the description as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you've got Discord, I've got a Discord server as well, because why not? But that's it from me, guys. I'm out of here. Good luck to your teams this weekend, and as always, I will catch you guys next time.